These are the voices of resilience, of courage, of families who refuse to let a diagnosis define them.
Hello, my name is Genna, and I live in Ottawa, Ontario in Canada. My educational background is in psychology and education. I worked for numerous years as a high school teacher and currently hold a position at the University of Ottawa. I am a mother of 2 boys, which makes my health journey even more important, not just for me, but for my whole family. For decades, I lived with unexplained medical challenges. I searched for answers while navigating a healthcare system that often dismissed my symptoms and couldn't really figure out what was going on with me. My journey began in my early 20s when I experienced a sudden episode so severe that my roommates rushed me to the ER, fearing I was having a heart attack. That visit was just the first of many. Over the next 30 years, I battled overwhelming fatigue, heart palpitations, migraines, chronic pain, and difficulty coping with stress. Despite extensive testing and countless trips to the ER, doctors repeatedly told me nothing was wrong. Eventually, I was diagnosed with anxiety and depression, a diagnosis that never truly explained what I was experiencing and that never really sat too well with me. By April 2023, my symptoms had been debilitating, forcing me to go on sick leave. My exhaustion, my pain, the uncertainty was unbearable, yet I was met with the same dismissive responses as I always have. Exercise more, rest better, maybe you should eat healthier. The turning point, though, came when I found a family doctor and nurse practitioner who truly listened to me. They encouraged further testing and to take time off work to focus on myself. But wait times, however, they were long. The gaps between testing and appointments could be several months. I was desperate for answers, so I traveled abroad and paid for extensive testing out of my own pocket. Within merely 3 weeks, I was diagnosed with a Pheochromocytoma, a tumor in my adrenal gland. This metanephrine-secreting tumor explained all of the symptoms I had been dealing with for 30 years. I returned to Canada, had my tumor removed at the Ottawa Hospital in December 2023. But I later noticed that some symptoms still persisted and new ones appeared, such as I had become adrenal insufficient. I continue to search for answers. The uncertainty is very frustrating, and the process can feel overwhelming. But I keep pushing forward, determined to find the care that I need. Throughout it all, I try to stay positive and take a very active role in my healthcare. I advocate for myself, seek out information, and work closely with my doctors. I also raise awareness by sharing my story like I am here today, hoping that others with rare diseases won't have to go through the same struggles. If my experience can help even one person get diagnosed sooner or feel less alone, then speaking up is definitely worthwhile. The biggest challenge has been going undiagnosed for 3 decades. 30 years of not understanding the origin of my debilitating symptoms, the health and healthcare providers not having answers for me. A simple 24-hour urinalysis measuring metanephrines could have revealed the truth years ago, sparing me unnecessary suffering. Even after my tumor was removed in December 2023, I know my journey is far from over. Some of my symptoms persist. Finding answers remains daunting and overwhelming, adding another layer of uncertainty to my life. Though science is evolving, it is still not there yet, especially when it comes to rare diseases. Certain scans and specialized tests might only be available in specific parts of the world, meaning access to proper diagnosis and follow-up care can be limited. Even something as simple as a trip to the ER becomes a challenge. Many healthcare providers have never encountered a patient with my condition, which often means I have to explain it to them. It's incredibly awkward to be a patient, educating a doctor, explaining that pheochromocytomas secrete metanephrines, which mimic anxiety attacks, only to see a blank look on their face. In that moment, I feel as though I'm stepping on their toes, as though I shouldn't be the one telling them this. But at the same time, I feel hopeless. I want them to already know this. I want them to understand my condition without me having to justify it. Because if they don't, how can they properly treat me? One ER doctor once told me, "Oh yes, I remember reading about that in a textbook in medical school." So tell me, how is this doctor supposed to help me if that's the extent of their knowledge? Rare diseases deserve more than just a passing mention in a textbook. They deserve real awareness, up-to-date information, and proper protocols in emergency situations. I hope for a healthcare system that has appropriate funding, that listens to patients, especially those with rare diseases. I hope for faster diagnostic testing, increased awareness among medical professionals, and better support for those navigating complex conditions. This could change lives. No one should have to fight so hard just to be believed, to have access to tests, scans, exams. No one should have to wait months on end to have access to a health professional. I also hope that sharing my story helps others feel less alone and pushes for improvements in the way rare diseases are diagnosed and treated. I sincerely hope that this will bring awareness to the importance of funding our healthcare system, providing doctors with the resources that they require, hospitals with the technology available, and above all, increased research in rare diseases is of utmost importance. It is the only way that we will find answers to our complex health conditions. Proud to be rare.